What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing here in Realistic. I'm just going to make sure the audio's on. Yeah, brilliant. How are we all doing? I do apologise. I know I am well behind here on the stream, but I wanted to give you guys the best viewing experience, as I always do. I want to give you the best viewing experience here in Formula 7 Racing. I've just done Formula 2 on the PlayStation. I had to give myself a little bit of time to transfer everything over to PC. Tyres, Nathan, I hear some aren't on dries. Yeah, give me a minute. So I wanted to give you guys the best viewing experience. So I did F2 on the PlayStation. I've transferred to the PC, and I've it's catching the telemetry from the PlayStation. Bear with me. That's why it's flicking in the top right. Bear with me. One sec. Because the PlayStation's still on. 1 minute. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yes, the PlayStation was still on and the telemetry was still on because I'm still in the party on the PlayStation. I wanted to give you the best viewing experience, so I've transferred from PlayStation to PC. So we are on board with Leo Lund because I wanted to use all of the overlays and to be able to give you everything to have an unbelievable stream. We want to be as professional as possible. So I do apologise about the start of qualifying. I just wanted it to be as good as possible. And I also wanted to bring up the standings. So that's the current live standings for Realistic. And I wanted you guys to be able to see that because of how close it is. 12 points separate the top 3. So I wanted to make sure that you guys could see that. And obviously I wanted to be able to see the constructor standings as well here in Realistic. So for the best viewing experience, if this worked, it would be amazing, but it doesn't. So how we doing? I hope you're well. There's nothing we can do with grid penalties, to be honest. So Cars is on a lap. Here we go. The Ferrari driver coming down towards Ascari. And the Scuderia driver. Let me know if the audio's okay, guys. I've not got a phone. It's all transferring to my new phone, so I've not got it. So if the audio's not great, let me know. Are we going to do a lobby reset? We don't do lobby resets for grid penalties, mate. I've explained this multiple times. The only reason we don't is because, one, we don't know if it was your fault or not. But then I also have to do qualifying. Wait, you've got an engine penalty. One, we don't know if you deserve to get it. So we don't know if you deserve to get the grid penalty. So imagine if we reset the whole lobby because you got a grid penalty that you deserve to get, and then we can't go back on that, can we? Jennifer may have forgotten to serve his engine penalty. Yes, he may have actually. Yeah. But his team principal should have let him know. So yeah, it's just one of them things. To be honest, Leoland serving his going out on intermediates, I don't think makes a big difference when when Q1 is essentially irrelevant and non-existent. I even asked all the drivers to retire as quick as possible from Q1 so we could get to Q2. Nick, I know, so I don't really know what to do with the grid penalty. We've never restarted for grid penalties. So if Jennifer Lee, Casper and Fanfinus is still in the pit lane, that's so annoying. Every driver is going to retire apart from Fanfinus, who's still not set a lap. So we're essentially all going to be... Yeah, he's only on his way out now. That's really frustrating. 14 minutes he's sat in the pit lane for. Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do it all. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to do it all. Oh, he's left. You're kidding. He's not even showing online for me either. Oh, because I'm not on the Formula 7 account. I am on the PlayStation, but not on here. He's got a few. He's got a few invites anyway. Has he come back into the pits? You are kidding me. Ugh, that's so annoying. He's not going to get a lap in. He's going to finish below the guys who've got an engine penalty. But then he's not decided to. He's not left the pit lane for 15 minutes. Bear with me, guys. This is a nightmare. This, honestly. Yeah, problem is now is there's nothing really we can do if he's not set a lap. Do you know what I mean? There he is, he's back in. He needs to get out quick and get a lap. And we never, I don't know how many times we've tried to get everybody to retire in Q1. It just never happens, ever. Yes, so sorry guys, I went from PlayStation to PC. So because I wanted to give you guys the overlays and the viewing experience and everything, so I do apologise about the delay, but we are here now. We're going to get going. So yeah. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be completely honest. In fact, you guys know that I'm honest and transparent, especially when it comes to F7. When I'm in other leagues or commentating and stuff like that, I'm a little bit different. But when it's F7, I'm a little bit more honest. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's a little bit hectic on a Wednesday for me now. It is very hectic. I'm just trying to find this. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Getting home from work at like 20 to 6, and then jumping straight in F2, and then from F2 going straight from F2 from the PlayStation to F1 on the PC, and I'm just gonna put that on. Yes, it's just a little bit difficult, but I still enjoy it. So Vanfinus has got 10 seconds to get to the line. This is going to be so close. He made it. Wow, he made it. But he used his battery to get there, but that's fine, because all he needs to do is set a lap. Imagine he invalidates it. I didn't see it, guys, sorry. I was trying to set up the file for Monza. Well, yes. Guys, this is how, whilst we're talking, this is how the standings look at the moment. Seeing if that works. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, boy. F7. Right, let's go through it anyway. So, Casper, I need to write this down anyway, so let me jump onto the laptop. I mean, I see what people are saying, but I also see what Salute's saying. It's not his fault the game crashed, but he did leave. He did stay in the pits for 15 minutes before he decided to leave and settle up. And we all know that the game can produce, you know, desyncs and stuff like that. Surely you don't leave it right to the last minute. So just bear that in mind, guys, please. Try not to leave it to the very last minute, because you leave yourself open to situations like that just happened on a very close. I mean, he only just made a lap by 1 second. So that is the standings at the moment. B-Right is on 182 points. Leo Lund on 177. Reese on 170. 1, 2, 3. Ferrari, Racing, McLaren, Racing Bull, and Ferrari. Yes, Banana, it's definitely something we can do. Definitely something we can do. I'll be more inclined to use that feature once we've got the first 2 episodes of the podcast out of the way, where we know how easy it is to go from camera to camera. Happy birthday to you, by the way, Banana. And thank you for the Prime. I hope you're having a good day. So this is the constructors at the moment. That's how it looks. I mean, if the world champion of Fanfulness was having a better season, I think Mercedes would be extremely close here. So we've got a couple of drivers on outlaps. One of them is a Haas driver. So that is Super Turbo that will be getting us underway. Leo, no, I just actually mentioned on stream that Q1 in this session, it is actually illegal to use it, but I did tell everybody to just retire from Q1 because it was essentially a non, you know, qualifying session. So I actually did tell everybody just to retire straight away, so I don't think it made that much of a difference. There's a lot of sketchy stuff that's gone on in Q1, so yeah, don't worry, we'll just move on. 12.5 minutes remaining. Super Turbo is on a lap as we come down in towards Della Rosia. Onto the brake pedal, back onto the throttle. Just using that battery as he comes up towards the double Lesmos. He actually didn't touch that battery. I do apologise. He never touched it. So, is he going to burn that battery as he comes? Yes, here we go. The DRS will kick in, and then the battery. Now he starts to burn the battery as we come down towards Seraglio, down the hill, underneath the bridge, towards Ascari. This is a nice lap from the Haas driver. Clean, calculated, very well executed through Ascari. You can see the concentration for Super Turbo at his home Grand Prix. Well, Imola is more his home Grand Prix, but hey, here we go, Super Turbo. By the way, I didn't get a chance to do the billboards, guys. I was going to do them when I got home, but because I was setting everything up, I just didn't have time. So, Super Turbo, 119.9. Zetu is on a lap. Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull, a 118.6. And then CJ, a 119.6 in the Sauber. Nick in the Sauber is also on a lap as he comes down the hill. Mirko, 118.5 in the Mercedes, goes fastest here in Q2. Yeah, no worries about on. Nick for Ascari's invalidated it. Deadly in the Williams, who is having a magnificent season. He is 8th in the Drivers' Championship with 67 points in a Williams. Is brilliant. So I am surprised there's not a big team coming for him yet. Even Mercedes, I'm surprised that they've not made a switch and gone, right, yeah, Deadly, you're coming up to Mercedes and Fanfness. But then could you drop a world champion? Could you do that? That would be something. But Deadly, if Deadly was in a Mercedes this season alongside Mirko, I genuinely believe they could have been on for a Constructors here. And that's no disrespect to Fanfness at all. He's just not having a very good season. But he's took his foot off the pedal. He's the world champion. He can take his foot off the pedal. Deadly, a 122.4. Nick is on another lap. Then you've got cars in P3, a 118.7 for the Ferrari driver. Then you've got my R trigger's not working, so bear with me, guys. What the hell is going on? Nothing's working, actually. Bear with me, guys. Oh, God, what's going on? The controller's not working. Nothing's working. The hell? 1 second. B Right at 118.4 has gone fastest with 9.5 minutes of Q2 to go. Fanfness is back in, having connection problems tonight is the Dutchman. Oh, sorry guys, I'm so tired. Yeah, Jay's is in. So, be right in the McLaren going fastest. You've got Casper on an outlap in the other McLaren. He's done well. He did get a reserve seat for like 4 races and then a full-time seat. So he's pretty much been in a McLaren all season. However, he did give away a few points. I'm thinking back to... where was it where he pulled over to the side and let Ben through? There was 2 races, I think it was. So had he not have done that, where would he have been in the Drivers' Championship? Looking at it, he could have been there. He's only 30 points behind his teammate. He could have been world champion. You never know. He's still got an opportunity, Casper. He's in that McLaren now. And will he back off? Or will he go for it? There's a lot of races to go. Who knows? Leo Lund in the Racing Bull down in towards Retafilo at turn 1 and then around at Curva Grande for the Racing Bull. Okay, so that is team orders. So down in towards Della Roggia for the Racing Bull. That is a beautiful line from Leo Lund. Casper 1:17.995, half a second quicker than everybody else so far. But we are riding on board with Leo Lund to see what he can do as we go down in towards the Scarlet. Look how much he takes at that. Look at the purple sectors. He is lighting up this circuit. The only time he isn't quicker is down the straights because of the car that he's in. But the technical parts of the circuit, he is dominating here. Leo Lund putting in a brilliant display, but then it's all about straight line speed. And to the line we go, and it's a 1:18.1, and it's P2 from the Swedishman of Leo Lund. What a lap time that is. So brilliantly executed, and Reese in the Ferrari comes through to take P4. He is behind B Right. And then we've got Fanfness now out on a lap, the world champion, the Dutchman. He's a well-decorated driver here in Formula 7 racing. He's been around for such a long time. I think he's actually been around since season 1, Fanfness. if I'm not mistaken. So he's been with us for 6 years, which is amazing if you think about it. Same with B. Wright, and same with a lot of these drivers. A lot of these drivers have been, like, I'm looking at the grid now, and apart from Leo Lund, these drivers have raced with us on and off for probably at least 2.5, 3 years, most of these, every driver. So Nick is on a lap. Fanfitness goes back into the pit lane, so we ride on board with the Sauber to see what he can do as you go down in towards Delarogia. As we go past the Louis Vuitton billboards, the Louis Vuitton. Down in towards the double Lesbos into the second one and through. Sub-Zero 5 here as well. Down through Seraglio and towards Ascari for the kick Sauber of Owen Salmon met Nick. Look at that. The eyes through the billboard, through the visor. Kev, I don't know why it says that, mate. I don't know why it comes up with like a weekend date. I've tried to fix it, but that's why I've sent 2 calendars, one with the actual date on it. And Nick is in the top 10. Wow. I know there's still a Mercedes to go, but that means that Nick currently is into Q3. He does have a 5-place grid penalty though. But that is decent. Very decent indeed. So Deadly has invalidated it. Sam the man is on a lap. Bjorn, I didn't see it, mate. Apparently he was going slowly or something and it just gave him a penalty. I don't know. I was busy trying to set up the stream. Cars has gone fastest in Sector 2 as he rallies through Ascari and down towards Parabolica. Yes, but why don't we restart after qualifying? We never restart after qualifying, Bjorn, ever. And I don't know if it would be fair to start in round 13. We've just never done it. A 1:17.7, and I have explained hundreds of times, the only reason we don't do it is because you would potentially be restarting races every other race because of grid penalties. And the main reason is we don't know why they got that grid penalty. Imagine we restart a full race for somebody that got a grid penalty and then we look at it afterwards and see that it was a warranted grid penalty. And then we're like, well, we shouldn't have restarted it. And that driver's now got off with a 5-place grid penalty or a 10-place grid penalty. And he deserved it. I'm not saying he does deserve it. He probably doesn't. But what if he did? Then we've restarted the lobby. And we don't look at incidents during the race. But then if he has, yeah, but beyond that's just, it's so much work to, if somebody gets a grid penalty, you've then got to go into the Discord and they've got to send a POV, you've got to see it, make a decision on the spot, and it's, yeah, we just don't do it, unfortunately. We just don't restart for grid penalties. I know some leagues do, PFGL do, PFGL restart for grid penalties. Well, actually, they restart for grid penalties if you're in the top 10. If you're outside the top 10, they don't bother. But I get it's frustrating. I think there's two other drivers in Realistic that have had grid penalties this season that we haven't restarted for. It is frustrating. It is a bit of a crap thing, I'm going to be honest. So Reese in the Ferrari and Mirko in the Mercedes, Deadly in the Williams are all on laps coming. Oh, and Deadly's invalidated it. 1.5 minutes to go. Mirko in the Mercedes coming around Curva Grande at turn 3. Reese is a 10.5 up. And this is getting very spicy out there. Look at Reese and B right how close they are. And all of the drivers are back out, so maybe they don't think that they're safe. Fanfitness in that Mercedes goes P4. And he must have listened and gone, I'm world champion. I can still put it in the top. A 1:18.453. Cars retires. Reese is coming through a Scania. He sets a purple sector 2. Then you've got Mirko in the Mercedes coming right behind him over the apex at turn 10. Deadly has invalidated it, so he's going to have to go again. Here comes Reese into Parabolica, swings the Scuderia into that chicane at his home Grand Prix. Can Ferrari reign supreme just from the Maranello outfit, and it's P4 for Reese, and Mirko in the Mercedes will be next to the line, and he will go P2, a 1:17.969 from the Mercedes. Fanfness and B Wright are also on laps. Fanfness just coming out of the second Lesmos, but he's on another outlap. Then you've got B Wright in the McLaren coming through Della Roggia, just hugging the apex there to the left, to the right, and then in towards the double Lesmos at the double right-handers. Then you've got Nick, Super Turbo, Zetu, Sam the Man, CJ all ready and waiting to go again to see if they can scrape and sliver their way through into Q3. Remember, we do have a couple of engine penalties here tonight, so there's opportunities to get into that next part of qualifying. The checkered flag has waved here in Q2. Super Turbo is out. He missed the checkered flag. He is out. So the first elimination, Fanfness, is also on the brink. This is going to be very, very close. The McLaren of B Wright coming in towards Parabolica. He's way down on his lap time. He's not going to improve, and he is definitely at risk here. Deadly is not going to improve. Wow, that is massive. Jeffy Boy's on another lap. Sam the Man. Here comes the Ferrari of Reese. He's on an in-lap. Then you've got the Nick in the Sauber. The Aston Martin of Zetu is half a second up, but I don't think it's going to be enough to compete. We shall see. The Aston Martin is a good car. Here he comes out of Parabolica. Zetu onto the throttle, up towards the line we go, and Zetu will put it P14. Then comes Nick, and Nick will go P10. He creeps in. Sam the Man has invalidated it, so he is out. So has CJ. And Nick is gone through by a 1/10 of a second. The Dutchman is in P10. A Sauber here in Monza, the Temple of Speed, is into Q3. That is what we want to see. Now I do kind of feel bad with the engine running out for Nick. So there you have it, guys. Is the fastest driver on track. I just need to put this in. Then Mirko, Casper, Leo Lund and Reese are your top 5. Then comes Jeffy Boy, Fanfness, B Wright, Deadly and Nick. I just need to write these in. Are your top 10. Then comes Sam the Man, CJ, Super Turbo, Zetu and Jennifer. So, who are the first runners out on track? It is B Right, and he has Casper just in front of him. Are they going to do a bit of teamwork here? B Right is right on the tail of Casper, so maybe he's going to get a tow as he sets a banker lap coming through the Lesmos. Just bear with me, guys. So no, the other McLaren did drop off slightly, so he is going to go on his own lap. So Casper is going to be first in towards Della Roggia at turn 5, and then down towards the double right-hander here at turn 6 and 7. Boy, right on the limits there, isn't he? The two McLaren drivers. We're going to see no rain in this race. It's fully dry. 18 drivers on track, and we've seen, I think it was Monza last year where we've seen one of the biggest shocks of realistic with the results. You always do in Monza. Beyond, yeah, we just I said that PSGL restarted in the top 10, which is probably a good thing. A 117.770 for Casper, and then B Right coming through, a 118.1 for the other McLaren. I'm not even denying, Bjorn, that it probably is a valid... Oh, what is going on? I think this wire's dodgy. I'm not even denying that it probably is a worthy of removal and a restart, but we just don't do restarts. And the problem is, if we started now, then it would be unfair on everybody else that's had grid penalties prior to this race. I'm saying that I felt bad because he's inside the top 10. He's made it into Q3 and he's got a grid penalty, which is really crap for him. It's maybe something we could look at next season, grid penalties, and maybe we should restart from next season. It's just a very long process. But definitely something we should look at, yes, for next season. It's something we've never done with grid penalties restarted. I think we have done on the odd occasion, like, say a championship rival has got a grid penalty. Say it's Abu Dhabi, last race of the season, and two champions are competing for a championship, and one gets a grid penalty and it shouldn't have got it. Then yes, we would probably restart it and get rid of the grid penalty. But yeah, restart has invalidated it. Leo Lund is now on a lap. Yeah, it's definitely a major opportunity for Nick. It is. You're right. But I'm just saying we've just never done it. But I say we've never done it. We probably have done it in the past on a very rare occasion in the 360 or so races that we've done. Leo Lund in the racing ball around Parabolica, and then up towards the line. He did invalidate it as well, and Reese is going to go again. He comes out of Retafilo and around Curva Grande. He's not got as much battery as he would have been hoping for. And Deadly, a 118.3. That was a good lap from the Williams. He's up to P5. Nick in the Sauber is currently on his lap. And it threw Ascari, and he's invalidated it as well. And he will be very frustrated with that one. And down in towards Ascari for the Ferrari driver. And he's not on a flyer here. I think he was on another cooldown, or he's on his way into the pit lane with 5.5 minutes to go. Yeah, he does go into the pits, and we do have Nick. Is he on another lap? I think he might be. Oh, and he locks up. Wow, it's stayed valid. Wow. And Nick back into the pit lane. So that is every driver into the pits. So as all the drivers sit in the pit lane and wait for this 4 minutes remaining here in qualifying. It's a good time to tell you about Formula 7 Racing. So Formula 7 Racing, we are live every single Sunday. For F1 we have 4 tiers, tier 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we race on a Monday for Le Mans Ultimate. Then on a Wednesday for Realistic we've got F2 at 6 PM and then F1 at 7 PM. And then we have a Assetto Corsa on a Friday. And then we have some big events coming up with UEC on Assetto Corsa on Saturdays every month. That is teams of 3 drivers all racing on Assetto Corsa in 6 hours and 12-hour races. So yeah, we've got a bit of everything, and Sim Racing Setup sponsors everything as well. B-Right is now on a lap, and so is racing the Ferrari, who's right behind the McLaren. Is he going to go racing him down in towards Della Rosia? Around the double Lesmos. So it will be B-Right that gets us underway for the final time here in Q3. He will be the first of the final runners, and I can see another McLaren in front. You know, I think he's going to get a big tow here, B-Right. His teammate is going to try and help him, who currently sits on provisional pole. So we can see that the pole time is there from Casper. As we head in towards Della Rosia, B-Right, setting purple sector through 1 into the Lesmos. He is going to get a big tow from his teammate through turn 6 and 7 we go. And I tell you what, he's going to get a tow. He's got DRS here, B-Right, so he's going to get the tow down towards Parabolica where he needs it. This is brilliant. This is really well played from the Papayas in towards Ascari for the McLaren driver. That was nicely done, and here we go. The huge tow, the huge slipstream from the McLarens. Very well done. That is executed to perfection as the McLarens, with teamwork, that makes the dream work as we come around Parabolica, down towards the checkered flag, and be right in the McLaren with a 1:17.9 that puts in P3. Reese and the Ferrari will be next, and he goes P2. It's the Ferrari slightly in front of the McLaren. Fanfinus has lost it. He's spun around. Mirko in the Mercedes. Nick makes it to the line. Leo Lund is next. Mirko down in towards Parabolica. He's got his teammate and the reigning world champion behind him. Mirko, where is he going to put it? The Mercedes AMG goes P4. And in front of B right by 7/100ths of a second. Deadly Cars is lighting up the circuit. He's gone fastest through sector 1. What about Casper? This is massive. Casper's invalidated it. This could be it. Cars could be on for pole position. So could Leo Lund. And B right is not going to get another lap in. Jeffy Boy, Deadly, these are really close on track. Fanfinus can do no more. And B right was going to give his teammate a tow, but he invalidated it, so it's just not there for him. Here comes Cars. And the Ferrari, the Dutchman. Here we go. It's Sweden versus England versus the Netherlands versus Italy for your top 4. But it's Cars to the line that takes P2. 2/100ths behind Casper. Here comes Jeffy Boy and Deadly. Nick to the line goes P9 and Leo Lund. He invalidated it. Leo Lund did not set a lap time. And the man that sits in P2 in the championship, 5 points behind the McLaren, will start this race in P10. Wow, Mirko is in P4. This is incredible stuff. Not the order we were expecting. What did I say? Italy always throws it in the air. Monza always surprises us. So there you have it. Casper takes pole position, but look how close it is. Casper on pole, Cars in P2, and Reese, who is third in the Drivers' Championship, takes P3. Mirko in P4, B right in P5. Then comes Fanfinus in P6, Deadly in P7, Jeffy in P8, Nick in P9. Well done to him. And Leo Lund in P10. It is race time. 2/10 separate the top 6, by the way. So, let's have a look at the circuit for today. So, Monza here in Italy, 3.599 miles, 11 corners, 3 sectors, 2 DRS zones, and a beautiful, iconic circuit that is very flat, very fast, and it's called the Temple of Speed for a reason. So, we are going to get into it very shortly. Epic OJ should have set a slow lap. He should be qualifying in front of the rest because it goes off championship order. So before we get going, that's how the Drivers' Championship stands right before the race here in Monza. It's B. Wright that leads on 182, Leo Lund in second on 177, Reese on 170, Casper on 152, even Mirko on 136 is not out of it just yet, only 46 points behind. And then Fanfrenes, the reigning champion, down in P6, and then the Constructors. Looks like this: 352 for McLaren, 260 for Mercedes, 232 from Ferrari. That is a big battle for P2, and that would be a difference in quite a bit of money as well. So we are getting ready to race as we all line up. The two Ferraris are going to be chasing down that McLaren, you know. So here we go, this is it for round 13 here in Monza. And it's lights out and away we go. Cars did not get the start that Casper got as they all run down in towards turn 1 at Retafilo. B. Wright is already thrown Mirko. Mirko comes back. Later on the brakes goes Mirko right on the inside, and then Fanfrenes comes diving in, tagging that Ferrari. B. Wright has been swamped by them. Leo Lund is already up to P7, now to P8 as the Red Bull comes back through. Nick is already up to P10. What a start from the Sauber driver. Here comes Sam the man being squeezed by Nick, and then later on the brakes, that is Jeffy Boy and Leo Lund. And that is Sam the man and Nick is round. Wow, that was close. And Nick losing a few places as CJ goes through. Epic OJ is making up tremendous amounts of positions as he goes up to P13. Jennifer Lee down to P18. All the drivers safely through at the moment, but it's Casper to Cars to Mirko to Reese to Fanfrenes to B. Wright to Leo Lund to Jeffy Boy. This is an awesome start for some of these drivers. Casper will definitely try and back up the pack. Here comes Fanfrenes on the back of Reese as he runs wide out of Ascari, but there's 7 attempts clear of B. Wright and Leo Lund at the moment. Here comes Cars on Casper as we go down in towards Parabolica. So out of Parabolica, there'll be no DRS yet, but he will have that slipstream. And that is Super Turbo being overtaken. He's run off the track. He's got damage. Super Turbo's got damage. The yellow flag's waving. Here comes Cars. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Casper. The Ferrari and the McLaren going at it already as we go down in towards Retafilo at turn 1. Side by side. It's amazing racing. And it's the McLaren that gets his foot down on the throttle. But then the speed of Cars as we come around Curva Grande and slots into the lead of this Grand Prix. And Cars is now your leader. To Casper, to Mirko, to Reese, to Fanfrenes, to B. Wright. Oh my god! Fanfrenes is round and B. Wright has damage. B. Wright has damage. The championship leader has damage on lap 2 here in Monza as Fanfrenes, the world champion, spins. Incredible. Leo Lund will be happy to hear that, and so will Reese. They came out of that unscathed. Can Fanfrenes, can B. Wright hold on? The world champion of Fanfrenes, race after race, it goes from bad to worse. And it's only Mirko just holding this team together at the moment. The world champion, just bad luck after bad luck. Cars is now your leader. Remember, there is DRS and B. Wright is into the pit lane already. He's going to need a miracle. So here we go. And 2 attempts, Sam the Man. Nick is up to P9. And Fanfness is also into the pit lane. So look at this, Reese only 2 attempts behind Merkel. The top 4 are really gathered up. 10-second time penalty for Super Trubo as he goes back into the pit lane. What Leo London be right need now is these top 4 to start scrapping like crazy. You get that man a nose show, absolutely. So here comes Sam the Man. He's going to have that DRS on Nick in front in that Sauber. The help of that rear wing as we go down in towards the Scania. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait. A little bit deep there. Yeah, gets a track limit. We called it. We seen it. What about Reese Dye? Casper in P2, but he's going to have that DRS. And there goes Epic OJ in the Alpine around the outside. But he backs out. And now here comes the Williams down the inside into the side pod. That is close racing around Parabolica. Sam the Man clinging onto the position. But Epic OJ is back through. That is Jeffy Boy on CJ, the Red Bull, in front of the Racing Bull. And now here comes CJ, Epic OJ and Nick again down in towards Retafilo. The Williams and the Sauber. Really aggressive racing between the pair. But beautiful overtake from Lewis as he's just picking up the scraps at this point. And back comes Sam the Man and the Aston Martin driver who vacated his seat from McLaren. Later on the brakes goes Sam the Man and through goes Lewis. And now Jay's just watching on to wait for an opportunity to arise. So let's have a look at the leaders. What was the reaction time from these guys? It is not bringing up the reaction time. I don't know why. So Casper chasing down cars in front. He is in P2. Casper is your race leader at the moment. We now proceed towards Parabolica. I don't know if the stream looks a bit fuzzy, you know. I don't know if the stream looks a bit fuzzy. So, Casper and Mirko cannot get past cars yet. That is Sam the Man and Lewis in towards Retafilo again. Fanfness picking up a track limit violation. CJ in P8 in that Sauber. He's doing well so far, and I tell you, I'm still yet to see him do a full race without a track limit penalty, so I'm really hoping we see it today. Come on, CJ. Deadly on the back of Leo Lund, who's only 1.7 behind the top 4 now. Remember, this is what the championship looks like, and look at where everybody is. If it stays like this, Leo Lund would be the championship leader. This is incredible. The championship leader. So, Casper and Kaz. 5 laps down, 22 to go here in Monza. It is the Ferrari that leads their home Grand Prix, but not for long. Here comes the McLaren with the DRS. He'll move to the outside line in towards Retafilo. And the Papaya is now back in the lead of the Grand Prix. Thank you for the follow, Onyx. There goes CJ in the Sauber, through on the Red Bull of Jeffy Boy. What about Zetsu on J's? The Aston Martin cannot do anything at this moment in time. Fanfness picking up another track limit. What about this Ferrari as we go down in towards Della Roggia, clinging to the rear diffuser of that McLaren in front, and Mirko. Here comes Reese. Leo Lund is getting closer and closer with every inch of this circuit. There's a little lock up there from Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull as they go in towards Della Roggia, and then down towards the double Lesmos at 6 and 7. Look how close the front two are. DRS again from this Ferrari. As we go through Seraglio and down in towards the Ascari, he's going to stay behind. And every single time that he stays behind and doesn't go for the overtake, he's going to bring them drivers back in from behind. Look at Mirko. 3 tenths is the gap now. Super Turbo, another into the pit lane, and DNF. And Super Turbo's season goes from horrific to absolutely abysmal at this stage. Really unfortunate, because he had one of the best seasons last season. And he needs to try and pick it up if he wants to keep a seat next season. And these drivers will be thinking about that now. Here comes the Ferrari of cars, and he's going to return the favour on the McLaren. And into the lead goes the Dutchman. And here comes the Sauber of Nick. And Jeffy Boy is into the pit lane. But yeah, as I was saying, these drivers, they'll definitely be thinking about their seat next season. Remember, team principals sign these drivers. They don't get given the seats, they have to earn them, and the team principals will definitely be thinking about who's getting their seat next season. And if people aren't performing, I tell you, it will be a big deal. So these drivers, it'll be in their back of their mind. It'll be in their back of their mind 100%. Yeah, Vardenator, I completely agree. Completely agree. I'm a big believer that anything can happen in the race. So just keep going and keep going and keep going. The amount of times over the years that I've been in a terrible position and it's a safety car's come out. In fact, I got my first ever race win in Monza because of a safety car. And he ended up out in the lead because of the safety car. And I was having a torrid race. And then it started raining, everybody pitted. I was already like 10 seconds ahead. And yeah, it was so good. So Cars is leading after 7 laps and he's 7 tenths clear. And there goes Leo Lund as Reese peels off into the pit lane. He's on their medium tyres. And look at that. He's gone for a very early stop. The Aeronix, exactly. He's gone for a very early stop here. 2.5 in the pit lane. And fresh wheels as Mirko is scrapping with that McLaren. And that is speeding into the pit lane for Zetu. Down in towards Delaroche we go. Leo Lund now nearly back within DRS range. And we're having a look at the tyre wear of these drivers. Yeah, Mirko's alright at the moment. The Ferrari always seem to tear up their tyres. And that is a yellow flag. That is a yellow flag. Where is that a yellow flag? No, just a brief yellow flag. So Reese does not want to come out in any... Oh, and he just runs onto the gravel there. He does not want to come out in any sort of train or... Look at B right, he's 5 seconds behind Reese, but that will give him a little bit of hope because you get a safety car at any stage now. So Casper coming around Parabolica. Who's going to peel in? It is Cars, the race leader. It goes into the pit lane. Reese has got a time penalty. That is massive. Reese picks up a track limit time penalty. Leo Lund is within DRS range and he's got the rear wing open. That's what he wanted. And Reese is going to go for the overtake on the Red Bull. Down the inside goes the Ferrari. So Cars, where's he going to come out? Here he comes and he can see his teammate in the distance. Here comes Reese and he does come out behind his teammate. He might have heat into his tyres. Are they going to swap around? I do wonder. There goes B right. He's not too far in the distance, is the former three-time world champion. Lewis with the undercut. There goes Jays on Nick as he comes out of the pit lane down in towards Retafilo. Fanfinus up to P15. Leo Lund in that DRS range. Mirko chasing down Casper. These will surely go into the pits now. Yeah, you would think so. AMS Casper on his way down towards Parabolica. We know this circuit. 11 turns, 84% of it. You're at full throttle. Oh, and he stays out. So does Mirko and so does Leo Lund. We know that Leo Lund loves to go later on the tyres anyway. And Deadly is into the pit lane. I wonder if the two Williams are going to double stack. It looks like it might be timed beautifully. Yeah, I love a double stack. I love a double stack. Here we go. Deadly into the pits. Let's have a look at how good this has been timed. Onto them fresh hard rubbers. Here comes Sam the man. Down in towards the pit lane. the pit crew getting ready for the second stop. Very nicely done. Well done to the Williams team for that little double stack there. B Wright goes through and in front of Deadly now. Reese is on the back of cars. Leo Lund, Mirko, Casper all continue to stay out. Let's have a look at the tyre delta of the tyres. So look at this. So at the moment, Casper is on the mediums. The hards are 1.7 seconds a lap quicker. The softs are 2.5 seconds a lap quicker. So every single lap that Casper stays out on these mediums, he's going to lose 1.7 seconds to all of the hard runners. We can see the tyre delta right now. So down in towards Parabolica we go. Sam the Man is through on Jays. What an overtake that is from the American on the Canadian. So are they going to go into the pit lane now? 1.8 they are losing. Mirko comes in with him. Leo Lund as well. All three of the leaders into the pit lane. They are definitely going to come out behind cars on Reese here. Reese has got a 3-second time penalty though. B Wright is back into P6, but he needs a safety car. Or he's just got to commit to the two-stopper. That's all he's got to do. Cars is into the lead. Reese is in P2. Casper's only just on his way out of the pit lane. So is Mirko. So is Leo Lund. Here comes B Wright. And this is his championship rival that he's going to try and squeeze in front of. Leo Lund in the Racing Bull will go later on the brakes. Oh, a lock-up from B Wright. Loses the rears and Leo Lund escapes the clutches of the three-time world champion. That is Sam the Man in the Williams that is through on the Sauber of Nick. So Casper has come out 4.5 seconds behind cars on Reese. That is a massive gap. But if you look at the tyres already, 16% for Reese, fresh tyres for Casper. That is a big difference. I'm wondering if the Ferrari team need to start thinking about strategies and tactics here. I'm wondering if the Ferraris need to start letting cars slow the pack down and let Reese get ahead. Because at some point they're going to have to think about the championship. They've got to. And they're going to have to... I know that Cars is going to let Reese through. If it goes to the end and it's 1-2, Cars is always going to let Reese through. But I think Reese needs a bit of a helping hand. I think he needs Cars to help him here. So here we go, Reese to go into the lead of the race. Because he's got that 3-second time penalty, he needs a bit of a gap. And he's on them older tyres, so he needs his teammate to sort of slow down, get back with the pack, start to sort of take the pack back with him. And Cars will probably leave Reese ahead now. Here comes Deadly on B Wright, the Williams chasing down the McLaren. And this is not a night to remember for B Wright at the moment. However, it can change in the blink of an eye. Look at that 50% wear on them hard tyres. He pitted on lap 1, was it? Or lap 2, so... that is Cars through Ascari on the back of Reese. This is a magical what we're seeing here. 1-2 Ferrari here in Italy at the home Grand Prix. Still 5 seconds is the gap. Casper has not caught up to him as much as he probably would have hoped. And he's got Mirko to contend with that's going to have that DRS behind him. So we'll keep our eyes on these. Leo Lund is within that DRS range as well. That is Cars that is taking the lead of the Grand Prix. And Reese will just slot in behind. And then we've got Casper and Reese. And that is Deadly that is through on B Wright. Nothing champion can do, the former champion can do about that one. And 4.5 is the gap. They are catching up. Let's have a look at the last laps. Sorry, the last laps. Lewis W losing a few places there down in towards Retafilo. I keep forgetting the names of these. So let's have a look at the last laps from Casper. So you can see he's quicker than the Ferrari. Mirko was quicker on that last lap. Yellow flag. That's the Aston Martin of Zetu that spun it at turn 1. Oh, Casper's made a mistake somewhere because he's gone from 4.5 seconds to 5.2. This is exactly what the Ferrari want to hear. They want to hear that the McLaren's having problems, and now here comes the Mercedes. He's going to get DRS, and he's going to go for the overtake here. Down the pit straight we go. And that is B right back into the pit lane. Yellow flag again. And down the inside, here goes the Mercedes. Later on the brakes, squeezing the McLaren in towards Retafilo and around Curva Grande. B right was really hoping that that yellow flag might have been a full course safety car. He doesn't want it now though. That is Sam the man in the Williams being overtaken by Lewis W and Nick. And he just slots in behind him in P12. Here we go around Curva Grande and down in towards Della Rosia. So down through Seraglio. We are halfway through this Grand Prix. We've got a battle at the front, a battle in the middle. B right is the fastest through sector 2. He's going to put in some decent lap times now. The two Ferraris still leading. Look at Casper on Mirko. They're 5.4 behind the Ferraris. This is not the plan here. That's B right going past the person that caused him all of the pain and despair in this race. So through Della Rosia, B right with the fastest sector 3 time. There goes Lewis W in the Aston Martin chasing down that Sauber. I tell you, Mirko and Casper are not catching these Ferraris. The Ferraris are working together with this DRS, and the drivers behind are just not catching up. As it stands, Reese would be the championship leader. That means that during this race already, the championship lead has changed hands to 3 different drivers. It is brilliant. It is brilliant. So, Sam the man. We know how good of a driver that Sam the man is and how good he can be. We've seen it before in the past. Reese is starting to lose a little bit of time. 2 cars in front as he's struggling to stay with him. Looking at the tyres. Ooh, 40% on that back left. With 11 laps to go, he's not going to make it. So he's going to have to pit again, you know. The Ferraris. Are the Mercedes going to have to pit again? I don't know, you know. They could potentially try and get to the end. Have the Ferraris committed too early and pushed themselves into a 2-stopper? And B right has already committed to the 2-stopper, so you never know. He's gone for a massive undercut. He could potentially come out in front of them. So it's on the man in front of Lewis. So I don't really know what the outcome of this is going to be yet, with 11 laps to go. All I do know is it's going to be an incredible ending. Sorry guys, here comes Sam the man on Nick. In towards Della Roger. Now they're starting to catch up. The gap is only 4 seconds for Casper on the 2 Ferraris. B-Right is up to P11 and he's on a rampage. He wants redemption. Looking at them hard tyres, I tell you what, I would not count out B-Right just yet. I really wouldn't. He's gone for this big undercut. And I think the drivers in front are going to be pushed into a 2-stopper. I think they're giving B-Right a bit of an opportunity here. Yeah, Deadly's gone into the pit lane. I think he's starting to read the situation. He's starting to realise what's happening. So, let's have a look. So, 3.5 seconds. So B-Right has come out about 3.5 seconds in front of Deadly. So I don't think he's going to undercut the front runners just yet. So I think they are safe. Reese is now a second behind Cars. Cars does not want Reese to fall outside of that DRS. I think he's just slowed down there. Deadly through on Jays. That was a good move. Sam the man here now on Nick as we go down in towards Parabolica. So remember, this is what the standings look like. Ooh! Sam the man, he was in such a good position. Epic OJ there in the Alpine is through on Jays. It's really tough for the slower cars in this race here in Monza because it's such a fast circuit with not many corners. Here comes B-Right on Nick in the Sauber. Remember the McLaren was held up last week by one of the Ferrari engine powered cars. Is it going to be the same here in Monza? But it is a fight for position, so the Sauber well in his right to try and hold on to that. So through the second of the Lesmos, and then he'll get the DRS here, the McLaren, and he will move in front of the Sauber to the right hand side, and down through Serraglio he goes as we head in towards Ascari. Nick looking for a cheeky little move back up the inside there, but he won't be able to stay back with the McLaren. Jay's picking up a penalty, and now the gap 3 seconds. They can see him in the distance. I think the Ferraris have gone too far now. They can't pit. We're 58% on them rears. Wow. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close for the Ferraris. Jay's is in the pits. So the Ferrari 1-2, 7.5 laps to go. Reese in P2, Casper chasing them down. Then comes Merkel and Leo Lund. B-Right with Nick on the back of him. Oh, what a safety car would do now for these drivers. Remember, the Mercedes and the McLaren, they need to work together here. They've not done that so far. I must say though, the Ferraris have been phenomenal in their strategy and being able to fend off the attack from behind. Will it prove to be a little bit too much though? Watch for Leo Lund as well. Remember, he's in that championship fight. There we go. Nick is into the pit lane. I really do think the Ferraris are going to be puncture territory unless they pit for softs right near the end. Harry, that's exactly what I said. CJ's been as clean as a cucumber tonight. I don't know, I think it's as clean as a cucumber. As clean as, I don't know. Mirko and Leo Lund. This might be Leo Lund's opportunity. You know, he's been waiting. And now down the inside of Parabolica, the Racing Bull. We know how good he is at getting his foot down with that traction. Side by side, go the Racing Bull and the Mercedes. Leo Lund and Mirko. Sweden versus Italy here in Monza. And it's Leo Lund that gets ahead. Now we'll have that DRS. And that is a position gained for the championship contender here in Monza. That is what he needed. Now he's up to P4. And now Leo Lund would be the championship leader again. So 4 times the championship leaders changed hands now in this race. And it's only round 13. If B Wright makes it up to P5, the championship lead would sway back in favour of the McLaren. I think the top 5 have committed to the one stop, and I think this could favour B Wright. I really do. I don't know if these drivers are going to get to the end. It's going to be very close. Look at the tyres. Maybe Casper, Leo and Mirko will, but Reese and Cars, my goodness, this is going to be close. This is going to be very close. Did we not see B Wright and Reese get punches in Monza last season? I'm sure we did. Casper is now only a second behind the front 2. This is going to be so close. This is going to be so close. Here we go. Leo Lund on Casper to take P3 away from the Papaya. And the Racing Bull is now back into the podiums. And he is now the championship leader once again. And he's going to try and defend. Here comes Casper. He's trying to battle hard. B Wright doing a phenomenal job to bring it back to P6, you know. Yeah, Mr. Reese, that was it, yeah. You were great in F2, by the way, Reese. Here we go, Reese and Cars. I tell you, the Ferraris have got to swap around. Reese has got a 3-second time penalty. Cars has got to try and hold them up and let his teammate go. He's got to. Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to do. Reese is through. Leo Lund now chasing him down, but look at this McLaren behind. And Casper being extra careful. Look at them. The top 5 are all locked in the DRS train again. Cars has got to go Carlos Sainz here. He's got to. Nick picking up a 3-second. Reese has got to try and escape, but look at the tyres, my goodness, this is going to be so close. Reese, who is right now 25, 18, 15. Reese is the championship leader again. Because he's the leader, he's the championship leader. It's the 6th time the championship leaders changed hands in this race. Cars is not going to go for the overtake. He's got to defend for his teammate. This is unbelievable. This is an unbelievable race. The worst thing that can happen here now is that both the Ferraris go out. Here comes Leo Lund. He's on so much fresher tyres The Swedishman has arrived, and up the inside of cars, the Racing Bull is up to P2, and Reese and Leo Lund are going to go toe to toe for the lead of the Monza Grand Prix. Here we go, the two Ferraris and Leo Lund around the outside onto the grass and through. Here comes cars, late on the brakes, and Casper dives into Reese. The Ferraris are being swallowed up, their tyres are falling off, and Reese is down to P4. Here comes Mirko. Cars is now on the back of Leo Lund as he pushes him through Curva Grande. Leo Lund backs out. Here comes Casper. It's the Dutchman to the two Swedish drivers. Ferrari, Racing Bull and McLaren are your top three with 2.5 laps to go. This is what we were waiting for. We knew it was going to come right at the end of the race. Look at the tyres of cars, 76% on the rears. What about Reese? 81% on the rears. B-Wright's only 17.7 behind. He's probably not going to make up that time, but I tell you what, if we're getting into puncture territory, who knows? Leo Lund is starting to pull away. He's going to go for the race victory. As it stands, Leo Lund is now your race leader, is your championship leader. Here we go into the slipstream of cars. He's going to move left, he's going to move right, and up the inside of Retafilo, the Racing Bull. Back into the lead here in Monza. Reese is in P4, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. He's also got tyres that are burning up rapidly. Cars is trying to stay with Leo Lund as much as possible around the double Lesmos. We don't know even if that time penalty might get removed of Reese's. Who knows? Mirko's tyres are also on the brink, 71%. All of the tyres of these drivers are really... Oh, Casper's got wing damage. That is why he's not challenging Cars or Leo Lund now. So Leo Lund has got a few drivers behind him, all with DRS. You do not want to be the leader coming out of Parabolica here. You do now. My goodness, Casper is through and he's got wing damage. Cars lets his teammate through. And now here comes Mirko on the back of Reese. Casper and Leo Lund are left out in 1-2. Leo has been gifted the lead. And oh, there's a crash. Oh no! The two Ferraris have collided with the Mercedes! Their home Grand Prix has turned into a disaster! Reese has damage! Mirko is round! Cars is round as well! What is going on here in Italy? The last lap of this race. Why is Bradders joining? What is he doing? How has he even got an invite? Leo Lund coming down in towards Ascari. He's a second clear. He is now going to be your championship leader here in Formula 7 Realistic. The man from Sweden. The F1 esports driver coming down in towards Parabolica. The Racing Bull is going to race to the line. And the Racing Bull will win here in Monza. B-Wright has overtaken Cars. Cars has potentially got a puncher. He has got a puncher. B-Wright is through. Reese reaches the line. How he's managed to reach the line, I'll never know. B-Wright is going to incredibly take a P5. Cars limping to the line. Here comes Epic OJ. Here comes Deadly. Cars down in P8. What a finish. CJ with a point in the Sauber and no penalties. What a race. Well said, Harry. There's going to be a lot of talks in them team garages after this race. A lot of talks in them team garages. So there you have it on the top step. 2 Swedish and an Italian at his home Grand Prix. So let's go through the final standings. It is Leo Lund that takes the race victory here in Monza. It is Casper that takes P2 and Mirko in P3. Reese takes P4 and B Wright takes P5. Deadly in P6 and Epic OJ in P7. Cars takes P8 and Jeffy Boy in P9. CJ in the Sauber takes P10. Then Nick in 11, Lewis in P12, Sam the Man in P13, Fanfinis in P14, Jay's in P15, then Jennifer Lee in 16, Zeta in 17 and Super Trubo in P18. Yeah, car's had a puncture when he braked. His car just turned. That's a shame. Right, guys, that is it. I am going to get back to doing interviews, just not this week because I'm absolutely shattered and I've not even got my work clothes off yet. I need to get my work clothes off and get a shower. But yes, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, guys. I'm sure there's a lot to discuss in the Discord. I need to get my phone sorted. I need to get my work clothes off. I need to get a shower. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and staying with us. Have a great week, and I will see you for Assetto Corsa on Friday. Take care, everybody.